Welcome to the Currency of Knowledge, a County National Bank wealth management podcast, the podcast where we unravel the layers of prosperity, explore the diverse meanings of wealth, and delve into the stories of those who have built their own versions of abundance. I'm your co-host, Christopher Phillips.
And I'm Holly Baker. Join us on this insightful journey as we redefine wealth beyond the balance sheets and uncover the true riches that life has to offer. Let's explore the essence of wealth in all its forms.
Well, welcome to the Currency of Knowledge. I am very excited today. We have Jack Baker with us, who is the mayor of Tecumseh. So, Christopher, I'm going to give you a bunch of information about Jack, and then I think we'll switch to him. So, really excited. I'm going to do full disclosure. Jack is uncle by marriage, so we're related. So Jack is a lifelong resident of Tecumseh, born and raised here. Jack has a lovely wife, Betty, and two sons, Matt and Danny. So we will talk about them in a bit. But interesting facts here about Jack. So Jack has been mayor now for 34 years. First elected mayor in the city of Tecumseh after they had changed the charter. And so that to me is very impressive.
And how long have you been married, Jack?
Okay, married?
Yeah.
Well, a week from actually this coming Sunday, the 14th, 52 years.
52 years. Amazing. Yep. So almost as a good length of a marriage, though, you've been mayor.
Yeah.
I think, a good part.
Yeah.
So also as part of that, as you mentioned that, there was this time that Jack was also on city council. So for 6 years. So we have 40 years truly of service, just as kind of an elected role, so to speak, to the city of Tecumseh. Of course, much more service to the city beyond those 40 years. And then Jack is also a business owner. So he and Jeff owned Baker Brothers for 29 years. So in 1986 to 2015, when they sold the business, we'll talk about that, but also they worked there prior to owning it. So a long legacy there as well. Numerous awards for Jack and a lot of great volunteerism. Two awards that definitely we should highlight: Musgrove Evans Award in 2021, and then the Lenawee Leadership Award just last year, which is very impressive, but both of those speak so much to the service and dedication that Jack has provided to not only Lenawee County, but of course the city of Tecumseh. And then I'm just going to run real quick through his different community service. So one, I will say Jack is a past master of Mason Tecumseh Lodge 69, chairman of the Tecumseh Adrian Local Development Finance Authority, member of the Downtown Development Authority, member of Brownfield Authority, Master of Ceremonies for the Memorial Day Parade, which I have seen many Memorial Day parades in my life in various cities and in various states, and by far Tecumseh's, I will say, is the nicest and most, what is the right word? Reverent. So it's such a great honor, and I know there's conversations a lot of times about what a Memorial Day parade should look like, and one of the things that I remember when I first moved to Tecumseh was a comment about candy during that parade. And I remember my husband saying to me that his uncle was very adamant, and I greatly appreciate this as a military brat, that a Memorial Day parade is somber and it's reverent, and candy is not part of that parade. And so that is one of the first things I remembered about Jack, and I completely agree with. Jack is a board member of the YMCA and is chairing the annual campaign this year. Volunteered at MIS and Faster Horses. Can't imagine volunteering at Faster Horses, having been yikes. But anyway, so lot of information there. I am sure I am missing a lot of the different things that Jack is as a man and has done for Lenawee County and us, but that's kind of the highlights. So jumping right into it. Thank you, Jack, for
thank you very much for being here.
Thank you both for the invitation today.
Super excited to get to talk to you about the things that we will get to in the end. But can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Certainly. So as you had alluded to earlier, my wife and I will be married 52 years, April 14th. So that's right.
Congratulations.
And we actually, my wife was born in Toledo, and in her young stage of life, she lived in Monroe County. And then her mother, who worked for Consumers, what was in Consumers Power, was transferred to Tecumseh. And that's how she ended up here. And Betty and I went to school together. She's a year ahead of me in school, but we knew each other, and that was about the extent of it. And then when she went to Siena Heights College, that's when things changed. And fortunately, the two of us had two wonderful young men, Matthew and Daniel. Matthew lives in Miami. Daniel lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. And both worked for the federal government, and very proud of both of them. And matter of fact, looking forward to heading to Miami next week to see Matthew.
That's great.
That's
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So switching gears a little bit then. So Mayor, as we alluded to, longtime service to the city of Tecumseh. And so what made you decide that you wanted to be mayor?
Well, I had worked for the previous mayor, one of the previous mayors of the city of Tecumseh. And I watched him, and who was our city manager at the time was Cal Zorn, and that's who Cal Zorn Park is named after. And I admired those two men, Harold Easton and Cal Zorn, admired them very much. And I saw the good things that they were doing for our community. And so I wanted to be part of that. And so I didn't come by this, just falling into it. I worked with the mayor, and I certainly knew the city manager, and I would consider those two gentlemen the finest city manager and the finest mayor that this city has ever had. Absolutely.
Wonderful. And so we know that you are not seeking re-election.
That's correct.
This year. So this is kind of your last stint as mayor. And what will you miss the most?
I'll miss my constituents the most. There's no question. All the meetings I won't miss. The longer you go to meetings, I think we all will agree, it gets a little more, okay, another one, but my constituents, the daily contact with my friends, the people that I can help when they need help. I'll give you a good example. So last week I had a constituent that got a hold of me, and he wanted one of our new trash totes. And we normally wait to deliver totes when we get perhaps maybe a dozen or 15 requests. And when he called down to the DPW, the Department of Public Works, they said it'd probably be a couple of weeks. And because I didn't have any requests at that time, and he shared that with me. And so what did I do? When I got off work, I went down to the DPW, got his trash tote, took it home to him. And I can tell you, he came in the next morning, and he's like, wow. And that's what you do.
It's city service.
That's what it takes to be, successful. And so those are the things that I'll miss the most. I started out in city council when I was in my 30s, and I'm well into my 70s now, and I'm ready for a break.
And we'll be right back.
At County National Bank, your financial goals are our priority. The CNB Mortgage Team offers personalized service, connecting you directly with CNB loan officers for expert guidance.
We are committed to helping you choose the right loan, ensuring you make informed decisions that fit your budget. At CNB, we minimize your risks so you can confidently achieve your homeownership goals.
Experience the County National Bank difference. Find a list of our locations online at cnbb.bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 399979.
As mayor, what would you say will be your greatest accomplishment or legacy?
I don't know that I have any great legacies that I'll leave behind. I do know that all the improvements that we've made in this city is something that I will always be proud of. An example would be the Brown Street extension. Years ago, Brown Street ended at Spring Street. And so Spring Street is just east of where the high school is. We extended that street all the way out, and the development in the northwest quadrant of the city had just took off. So that really, really meant a great deal to me. Rogers Highway is another improvement that we made. Before, it was a very crooked and narrow and just wasn't in good shape. And we went out there and we softened the curve. We put in curb and gutter. And what happened? We have a development that happened. And we have another one that's looking right now as we speak for that area. So if anything, I would say infrastructure is probably the most important thing to me as an elected official. Infrastructure and taking care of our employees. One of the boards that I serve on that you didn't mention, and I am going to continue to stay on when I leave the position as mayor, is our City of Tecumseh Employees Retirement Board. And I've served on that board for 30 some odd years. It doesn't matter. What does matter is this. I know every retiree that we are paying benefits out to at this time, everyone. And I know every employee in this city that we have, and I know them by their first name, everyone. That's what's important to me. That's what makes me happy is the infrastructure and the friendships that I've made. As far as any big thing that I've done, I don't know. I guess I'll just add one more thing that I'm very proud of was when COVID hit a few years ago. Most municipalities, and not by a little bit, but most by a big bit, had to cut off programs, had to lay off employees. They really had to, tighten the belt. Well, we tightened the belt forever. And we had what I call a nice rainy day fund in our city. And that being said, when the money stopped coming in, we did not have to cut one program. We did not have to lay off one employee. That made me very proud.
That's super impressive. Super impressive.
Yes. And I know I've been accused when we have our budget workshops and we're getting ready to approve next year's fiscal year budget, but we'll do that in May, of having too much rainy day fund. And now I can say, look what happened when COVID hit. So now I got something to reinforce why we did, because who would have ever guessed? Who would have ever guessed that was going to happen?
No, we would. There's no way to know.
No, you would not. No.
One of the things I think is so impressive about Tecumseh is just the businesses in the downtown area and just the way the city presents itself. It's an attractive place to come. I'm not a native Michigander. We moved to this area, to Illinois County in 2007. And, Tecumseh's always been just a gem in our community. And we're so appreciative of the businesses and the downtown and the way that the city presents itself.
Thank you for those kind comments. And it doesn't come without hard work. I can assure you that. And it isn't just this local government. It's the actual people that own those businesses. And it's the customers that go there, that live in this city and outside the city. Back in 1994, I was mayor at the time, and I was really pushing for what we call our economic development. And not very many communities our size have an economic development department. They rely more on regional economic developments. In the case here, most of them rely on Runaway Now, which is a good organization. Mm-hmm. But I wanted our own economic development department, and I pushed for it. And I took a lot of heat for that. I did. But time has proven me right. And right now we have one of the finest economic development directors there are, and that's Kelly Jo Gilmore. And prior to that, Jessica Sattler was with us, and she went to Ohio, and she works out of Northwest Ohio in economic development. And prior to that, Paula Holtz, thank you. Paula Holtz was our economic development director, and she now works for the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. So got a good track record there of people that have been coming and gone, and they really learned a lot here, and we learned a lot. So we never stop. That economic development department is very important to me, as it is the rest of the community. I know when our current city manager came here and he saw that we had that, he said, "How did you guys get that?" And I said, "Let me tell you a story."
Uh-huh.
And so we do.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, it really is. It is. And here again, without the cooperation of government and the business owners working together, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
When we're in the combined effort, preparing for this, I rewatched your video that you did when you received the Lenawee Leadership Award.
Thank you.
And I think it was so well done. And what you said in there was, impactful, because you talk about, a united Lenawee. Those may not be your words, but that was kind of the message. And I think, as we struggle as a rural community, a corridor, or bedroom community, if you will, we all have to be in this together, supporting one another. And I think that's what you're speaking of right now.
I really am. And, the day of going it alone is over. Now, there's some who are going to choose to go alone, and I will tell you, they're not going to go very far. Mm-hmm. And Tecumseh chooses not to, and I choose not to. And one of the greatest examples is the Local Development Finance Authority between the cities of Hadrian and Tecumseh, which I was there, have been there since its inception in 2014. I've been chairman of that. And boy, the growth that we've had in the last 10 years has been phenomenal. And the things we've been able to do, and mostly it's infrastructure that we offer between the two communities, we could not do it on our own. They couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. Together, we can do it. And we try to help, we do. We help entities in Ada, we help entities in Tecumseh. So that's something that really goes good. One of the things that I've been pushing for is more of a regional fire department, some more regional police department, because I can tell you these smaller fire departments are not going to make it. Is it going to be a rough road to get there? Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. We've had a little bit of cooperation, but we're taking the lead on this. We just bought last year a $1.1 million ladder truck, which is parked right in the 2 buildings from here. Okay, $1.1 million. Now, not too many communities our size could do it.
Right.
I can assure you that our neighboring communities couldn't do it, and that includes all of them. When you buy that kind of equipment at that kind of money, and it's only used in your community, I don't want to say it's a waste of money, but I think it could be better used. And so I've been pushing for collaboration with the village of Clinton, Clinton Township, Ridgeway, the village of Brighton, Franklin Township. We're getting there. It's getting closer. It's going to take a long time. They hate to give up their turf. I get it. Sure. I get it. I understand that. But if you don't do this, eventually you're going to be left behind.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be left behind.
The cost of everything is so expensive. I mean, just Holly and I were talking about the cost of cars. So to multiply that to, all of our areas that need ladder trucks, that's a lot of money. It's
a lot of money. We just approved the purchase of 2 more Chevrolet Tahoes for our police department. Solid hard on that one. Mm-hmm. And we're getting ready to order another one. And it has increased in price by 20% over these last 2, which I swallowed hard on.
Right.
But if you don't have good equipment, you have to have the best of equipment. There's no question. I'm a firm believer in it. Yeah. And we do.
Yeah.
And we do. We want, those police cars, that's the policemen and the police women's, that's their office. Mm-hmm. That is their office. That car is. You want it to be nice.
Mm-hmm. And an image of the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, we have good equipment here. There's no question about it. Our DPW does, our water department. We just ordered a week ago last night. We just ordered a new pickup truck for the water department. What do you think? A pickup truck? That's not too bad. Well, it's $54,000.
Right.
You can't buy anything for less than $50,000.
Right.
But this is a stripped down truck.
Right.
So.
All right. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
At County National Bank, our commitment to you goes beyond banking. We believe in curious conversations to build personal relationships and deliver local expertise.
Our private banking services offer personalized solutions, expert advice, and dedicated support, allowing you to focus on what truly matters.
Experience the peace of mind that comes with having a trusted financial partner. Whether you're growing your business, planning for the future, or enjoying the present, we are here for you.
Private banking at County National Bank. Personal service, expert advice, and peace of mind.
Our podcast, of course, centers around wealth.
Yes.
And so our question is, what is wealth? And that means, what is wealth to you?
That's a really good question. And it's one that I'm going to answer a little different than maybe others would. Most people, not most, but some people might say, having money. Mm-hmm. And that is important. Of course it is. But wealth to me, it really means, number one, having a family who loves me. Mm-hmm. Having a community who supports me. And equally important is having a local bank who watches out for me. And I have all 3 of those. And I'm so fortunate.
I love that definition, and the nod to the bank is really because important too. But starting off with the family, I hear the emotion in it, and I love that. And really, I have a friend who often says, and I've said it on this podcast before, people are going to, if you can solve your problem with money, it's not a problem. And really, what that's going to is this concept of family and friends and relationships, and that's what it's about, right? And money does get us some things, right? Everyone needs money, yes. But I love the concept of family.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And when I say family, that goes beyond the 4 members of my immediate family. Mm-hmm. That goes to my brother and my nephews and my nieces and my brothers and sisters and that. Because it's Holly knows, it's a big family.
Mm-hmm. It is
it's a big family.
Yeah, there are 6 of you, correct?
That's correct.
Yes. And are they all local?
Just my brother Jeff and I.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I love the community piece. I mean, I do love the family and the local bank, but I love the community piece. And honestly, how you tie it all together, but how you can see how it's all tied together.
Yeah.
Because to me, then, community is almost like an extension of the family.
It is.
To a large extent. And I do think in a smaller community or smaller towns or cities, you do see that more. So you see more of people reaching out. It's almost like no one is a stranger. You know them. And then, of course, local bank is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Local bank.
Thank
you know,
you.
It's so exciting to have the office that we have in Tecumseh. You know, there's a lot of tradition in this building.
There is.
You know, when it was a former community bank, it was named after the president of that bank. And, you know, we hope that we're living up to his expectation of what community banking is. Because for us is that in order for the bank to be successful, we need the community to be successful. We need the individual, not just the businesses, but we need the people in the community to be successful. So, I mean, we hope that we're seen as the biggest cheerleader of the communities that we serve, because certainly we are a reflection of the community. And if the community's strong, the bank will be strong. And we're super excited for the work that we're doing, not only in Tecumseh, but across all of our footprints.
I've been following your expansion.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, you know. And I will say I'm so proud that you are in the city of Tecumseh. And I don't say that to patronize you. I say it because it's the truth. And I was here for the day of the ribbon cutting, and I was amazed at the number of people that were here. And I mean, it was literally much greater than I ever thought it would be. And so I think that showed, you know, the appreciation that this community has for this local bank to be located right here in the city of Tecumseh. And
Well, I think so many people, especially in a city like Tecumseh, they're used to local decision making. So many of the residents know if there's an issue, like you had explained earlier, they can contact you. Like the majority of residents know where you live. We will not give out your address, but the majority of them know where you live.
It's okay.
They have your phone number.
Yeah, of course.
I know a phone calls that, you know, you get at 10 at night and you take those.
I do take them.
You know, where people come down to City Hall, and so, but they also know as residents, it's local decision making. So as a local bank, being able to make local decisions that impact our clients, just like your constituents, is big. And it's important to not have to wait 3 weeks to get a decision from someplace else.
Yeah, you know, and I can relate to that a little bit with my role as the mayor. So I have a 24-hour rule. I'm sure we've all heard of that. If you call me or text me, I'm going to get back to you within 24 hours. There's only one time I'm not going to, and that's when it happens during the middle of the night, after midnight. You know, between midnight and 4 o'clock in the morning. So what do I give myself then? I give myself 5 minutes to reply. For a number of reasons, but it's the truth. You know, I'll get a text message. You know, people will get up in the middle of the night and they'll think, he's not going to see that. You know, oh yeah, I see it. And when I reply, you can just hear them like, whoa, this guy's serious. You know, so I do have that connection, and I work 24/7 on it, and I will continue to do that.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of where we're at the end. I would personally love to thank you, Jack, for coming in. Honestly, for all of your service.
Thank you.
For all the time at the City of Tecumseh, your continued service after it, because I know it's not going to end in November, your service before that, and then honestly just getting to know you since I had joined the family and whatnot, and all of your support that you've always given to my husband and to myself and the rest of the family. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for being
I enjoyed
here.
this more than you might ever imagine.
Good.
All right. Thank you.